The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
One preseason game to go, then the Jets must cut the roster to 53 players, the latest on roster cutdowns and the latest with the Jets. We're breaking all of it down with Paul Kilgallen from Badlands. PK joins us. Let's hit it and get it started.
You keep the f*** out.
There's a number of things that I think about every morning that get me excited about being a part of this job. And plus, I just love what the hell I do. I have to address that. Between me and them, that's all you need to know. Every day, I'm living my dream. If you want to be a winner, not only have to understand how to win, but to understand how to consistently win.
We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Breece Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. Here on a Tuesday, it is the Jake Asman Show presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. We will have our weekly raffle coming up later this show, so stick around for that and find out if you won any of our 3 weekly prizes. But let's say hello right now to a good friend of the show. I'm excited to join this guy and the rest of the Badlands team on Saturday as the MC of their kickoff party for the Jet season. Ladies and gentlemen, PK, Paul Kilgallen, joins us now. Paul, happy Tuesday. Happy almost live show week for you. Appreciate you hopping on to talk some Jets and talk about your show.
Always appreciate the invite, man. Good to see you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in person on Saturday and hanging out. It's going to be a good time.
I mean, let's go, Jet fans. As Maniacs pack the building, use coupon code ASMAN at checkout so I could give you 10 raffle tickets if you buy a ticket. It's going to be a lot of fun. We had Will Parkinson on yesterday talking about the event. Joe and Connor have been on my show many times on both YouTube and radio over the years. So I had a blast of the first one. So excited to host that event for you guys later this week.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good time. We have we're doing it a little bit differently this time than we did last time. So there's going to be a lot more movement, some segments. We're going to put some stuff on the TV for a while. It'll be a lot more fan involvement. So people are going to be getting dragged up on stage. So if you're not comfortable with that, maybe try to protect yourself from it a little bit. But yeah, it's going to be a really fun time.
BadlandsTOJ.com to lock in your ticket. Let's talk about the state of the Jets. Before we do that, just a quick plug to hit the like button and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already. Your big takeaway from the game on Saturday, PK, are you amongst the Jet fans that are panicking after everyone was so high after one game last week against Green Bay? Now the Jets lose a preseason game, and I mean, you would have thought the season ended based on some of the people I've seen online. Your thoughts on the discourse and just where this team is at after that game Saturday?
Yeah, I think I'm guilty of getting a little bit over my skis after the Packer game for sure. But I will say that like the Giants game didn't bring me back to a level that is below where I was before the Packer game, right? Like I'm not overcorrecting downward. I think maybe my excitement around the Packer game was primarily Tanner Engstrand related. Like I was really, really excited with how the game was called and even in a vanilla kind of scheme and game plan where the sequencing of the plays was what really, really got me. Like I was looking at how the drives broke down. It wasn't just run, pass every time. It was creative. It was different. And I think that there's good to take from the Giants game as well with Tanner Engstrand. I think the second drive of the starters was one that had me excited, and there was nothing super spectacular about it. It was essentially hard-nosed, we're going to run down your throat football because we know you have a really good pass rush, and we're just going to run directly at these guys. And if, God forbid, you line up an edge over the guard, we're going to run right at them and we're going to push them off the ball. And so I thought that was a really good like adaptation to what the Giants do really well, and an ability to do things on the fly. We also, a couple of our guys last night spent some time reviewing some of the film together in kind of like behind the scenes. We're not putting it out. We kind of like reviewed film together and talked about it. And there was 2 plays, one with Breece Hall, where they tried to scat him out to basically the edge, and he cheated on the gap a little bit, and he got stuffed up in it early. And they ran the same play a couple drives later to Braylon Allen, and the same thing happened with the defense, where the linebacker started to slide over, and instead Braylon Allen was able to kind of cut it back and take advantage of the linebacker cheating. So there is a learning and a in-game evolution process that seems to be happening with Tanner Engstrand that is really, really encouraging to me. Now, they did kind of get blown away by the Giants, right? I would argue that it was a closer game than it looked, with a couple deep shots that hit. Russ had a deep shot. Jameis Winston is a borderline starting level quarterback in the NFL that was playing against threes in the second half. I thought they made the game really simple for Jackson Dart. They gave him a lot of short reads, but they beat us, right? And it is what it is. But again, I'm not going back to like, oh my God, we have to hit the panic button. I'm back to, yeah, man, it's a flawed team in the first year of a regime with a quarterback that we're all hoping can really take a step forward. But at worst, it's going to be kind of what we've seen from him in the NFL so far, which is you're going to have to win with your legs, which we're not going to see in the preseason. And so like panic, no, back to standard level of Jets fan worry. Yeah, for sure.
I think the big thing is, if you were so excited after one drive a week ago, you can't do the doom and gloom after only 2 drives a week later, when in the preseason, let's be real, Justin Fields, his greatness, his superpower, I don't think the Jets are saying go out there and run around, go crazy in a preseason game. Like, I think if it was a regular season game, I think even maybe like the first play of the game, Fields is taking off and running with it instead of checking it down where he did to Mason Taylor, for example. And I'm not trying to make excuses for Fields, because I am concerned about his ability to pass, but it had nothing to do with this game. This has been my concern since they signed him. And to me, they're a weapon short at wide receiver. So I'm not letting this game deter my thinking. I will say this. If you want to find something to be positive about, they continue to run the ball well, which is their avenue to actually being a competent offense. And then if you get the coaching right, kicking situations fixed, and let's say the defense bounces back, you're not going to be an awful team. I don't know if you're good enough to be a playoff team, but we're not talking about a team that's going to be, picking first overall in the draft. So I think if you were concerned about the passing attack, you should still be concerned, but it has nothing to do with what we saw in 2 drives on Saturday. If that makes sense.
100% agree. If you can possess the ball and you can not turn it over, you can remain in pretty much every single game. And if you look at both of the preseason games, the Jets did win the time of possession battle both times. And I think it's really just going to come down to limiting mistakes from Justin Fields and making sure that the running backs don't give the ball away, right? And so if we can do that at a base level, and look, maybe it's not an exciting brand of football, maybe it's not what we've been hoping and searching for. I think certainly over the last 2 years, got to a point where with Aaron Rodgers, I was just so excited to be able to move the ball at will, because it feels like that's never really been the case for us, right? So to have to come back to a mentality of grinding out, winning games ugly and probably low scoring, and kind of like just having these long pounded out games, it's not necessarily as exciting of a brand, but it is kind of something that hits on what the Jets' identity has been for a long time, which is play good defense and run the ball. So if you can get comfortable with coming back to our roots in that way, I think there's no reason to have doom and gloom about this. Like, it is what it is. It's going to be ugly sometimes. It's going to be muddy, but that'll keep them in every game.
Comments, questions, super chats, they always cut the line around here. Reminder, we got our raffle coming up once we get done talking to PK, so stick around for that. We're giving away 3 prizes on the show today. It's a signed jersey. It is a signed Ring of Honor signature Nick Mangold jersey and a signed Wayne Corbett jersey. In fact, if you win, here's how good I am. Since I'm going to Vegas tomorrow, I'm shipping out your prizes today, Jet fans. So I got the signed Mangold jersey here. I got the signed Revis jersey here. You just heard the big thud. That is the Corbett helmet that just fell down off my lap here. So I got all the prizes, raffle, coming up in just a bit. But I do want to shout out the fact that we are going to do another raffle in show for anyone to enter. That is a signed AG photo for a daily raffle prize. So 4 total prizes raffled away at the end of this upcoming show. PK, as far as, this defense, your thoughts on the expectations for them, what you've seen this summer, what you saw on Saturday. Tough to gauge, I think, the starting defense because, 1, they weren't out there that long, and 2, no Quinnen, no Jermaine, no Will McDonald, no Sauce. So we talked about the offense. How do you feel about the Jets defense right now?
Yeah, I mean, I again, like you said, the front 7, a little tough to get a beat on because we saw what we saw from Tefele in the Packers game, which I think was very, very exciting. And everybody kind of had visions of him running with Quinnen, but we don't know what Cowart's going to offer because he's been hurt, and he seems to be kind of the favorite of that group to start next to Quinnen, or at least be the primary backup there. So I think we'll see with that. There's an open question with Jermaine. How does he look? How's the ankle? Is he going to be explosive off the ball? Is he going to have the power that he generally has in his game to generate? So there's a lot of questions with that front 7. And I think what you're hoping for is that essentially the players that we know and that we've seen before can play to the back of their baseball card, so to speak. Because if you're getting what you think you can get from Quincy, from Sherwood, from Quinnen, from Jermaine, from Will McDonald, it matters a little less whether it's Cowart or Tefele, or if Marcelino McCrary Ball can be a contributor at all, or if that was just a preseason mirage. Which brings me to the back end of the defense, which I'm like very, 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 very excited about. We have a head coach who's a former D-back, so that's obviously going to be a specialty and a focus of his. We have a group of coaches, starting with Steve Wilkes, that historically have liked really big, strong, versatile, physical D-backs. And we have a group of guys that can do a lot of different things. And I'm seeing kind of some Swiss Army knife action in the defensive backfield of like, hey, we're going to have this guy on the field in this situation, and we're going to move guys around. And yes, it's probably going to be mainly Brandon Stevens, Sauce, and, pick your 2 safeties, Andre Cisco, and who knows, maybe it's Malachi Moore, maybe it's Tony Adams, maybe it's somebody that we're not expecting, right? I think Isaiah Oliver and Jarius Monroe have shown a lot in the preseason, and it's going to be hard to keep those 2 guys off the roster. Dean Clark is another one who's like kind of played well enough to be on this team. So what you have there is a really deep group, and it's probably going to result in some unfortunate cuts where they're going to try to stash somebody on the practice squad, and they're not going to be able to because there are D-back needy teams all around the league, but also within our own division, who are going to know these guys and see these guys on tape, and they're going to want to steal one. So it could lead to kind of a sad situation where we have to let somebody go, a la Jason Pinnock a couple of years ago, where like that was the wrong cut to make, and he immediately went somewhere else and kind of became a contributor as a safety. But it's a good problem to have. It's a really encouraging problem to have. And I think that's going to, in the long run, be the strength of this defense of, we'll get what we get from the front 7, but really we know that on the back end, they're going to be playing really well, and you're not going to be able to get past them often. So I'm really encouraged. Do I think it's, 85 Bears or 2010 Jets or anything like that? Like, no, but I feel really good that they will be able to, in concert with a really, really strong running game, kind of fit that identity that Aaron Glenn's trying to build and be that kind of hard-nosed, low-scoring, grinded-out team.
Let's talk about some of these difficult cuts that you referenced. When you look at the projected 53, which position group and which players do you think are really on that border of they could make it, they could not make it? Like, who really needs a good week and good game potentially against Philadelphia Friday night to make this team?
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the recent, so I'll start with like the first category of like recent draft picks that they hoped to develop that are just not working. And I think that group starts with Jeremy Rucker. I've been begging Jeremy Rucker all camp to like, please, dude, show something. Like we all, hometown kid, like we all desperately want him to stick. But he had a golden opportunity here with Mason Taylor getting hurt, and he really didn't take advantage of it. I think that he probably ends up on the 53, but it is very, very much in doubt. It's way more in doubt now than it was at the beginning of camp. And at the beginning of the camp, it wasn't a sure thing, right? And so he has done nothing to improve his chances to make the 53. I think at the end of the day, it's going to come down to how does the coaching staff feel about their long-term chances of turning him into something. If they think that this is it for him, then he's gone. If they think that there's more room to grow, maybe he stays. Another guy in that group is probably Carter Warren, developmental tackle who is supposed to be a swing that could mature into a starter and just haven't seen it, right? Another guy in that group, which on a much shorter runway, is Malachi Corley. Like, you tell me, Jake, have you seen anything from Malachi Corley that says this guy's taking a roster spot and he needs to stay? It's extremely unusual and unlikely for a second-year wide receiver picked that high to be cut, but, like, what can you do? I don't think he's played his way onto this team. So, I don't know, man. I think those three guys, I'd say two of those three are probably gone. And then from there, there's probably it's a less difficult decision now than it felt like it was going to be last week. But I think Donovan Edwards is probably a practice squad stash, or you lose him in a cut. I think that if the two Miami guys, Barron and Mygoa, if they weren't this year draft picks, I think they're gone. But
we heard their name
this year
once
draft picks, so they'll stick around.
Right. Like, have we heard their name once in any of these games? It's been disappointing.
During the Giants game in the fourth quarter on a Jameis Winston drive, I was just staring at Barron every single play. And, like, he couldn't really support the run. He wasn't really getting after the quarterback. He wasn't really doing much of anything. And these are threes he's playing against, and he was getting pushed around. So that one was really disappointing. I guess it depends on, they took the guy, right? This regime took the guy. So they must think that he has room to grow and he has a ceiling to get to. So he probably sticks around. But I think the reason I bring them up is because, like, they're going to stick because they're draft picks. But who are they pushing off the roster? Are they pushing, Braden McGregor off the roster? Are they pushing Watts off the roster? Like, who are you sacrificing to keep those two developmental guys on? I'm not sure yet. I think the linebackers are pretty straightforward. McCrary Ball seemed like he was maybe taking advantage of something out of the gate, but I think that slid a little bit. Zaire Barnes, we'll see. And then on the back end, it's going to be some tough choices, man. I think Jarius Monroe, to me, if I was a coach, has shown me enough just as a football player that it's like, all right, we have to find a spot for this dude. And maybe we decide to cut bait with Tony Adams as a result of that. But that's a crowded group, right? If you're going to keep 11, which is kind of on the higher side, that means 2 need to go. And, it's probably, Chris Boyd is IR'd now, so maybe that gives you a little bit more flexibility, but Chris Boyd, Jordan Clark, Dean Clark, Jarius Monroe, Isaiah Oliver, like, they're all kind of on that outside edge. I think Bump Cooper's obviously gone, but it depends on if there's a surprise, right? Is Tony Adams gone? I think you can make a case for that. Stiggers has played his way onto the roster. He's had some ugly moments too, but he had a big pick. So, like, I think it's going to be really interesting what happens on that back end. How about you? Do you have any thoughts there? I mean, and I think Nick Folk won the kicker battle. It is what it is, right? Like, we
saw
he's
this contract.
Reliable. Yeah.
And once we saw the contract, it's like, he's the guy. But look, I mean, if they cut Mevis and no one claims him, put him on the practice squad. I mean, Nick Folk did get hurt last year, got hurt in the offseason. That's why he was unsigned when camp opened. So I'm with you there. You mentioned Edwards. I feel like he's a guy that if he had a big game on Saturday, there'd be a real argument to, you got to find a way to keep this guy. But he feels like a practice squad guy to me, because I do think Kane is going to make the team because of what we saw on Saturday. He's an elite kick returner. Yep. And with the penalty for a touchback now being to the 35-yard line, there's going to be a lot more opportunities for kickoffs. And I think the Jets are going to try and win scrappy games along the margins. That's an advantage they would have over some good teams, where maybe a big kickoff return by Kane could steal a win for the Jets at some point this year.
Agreed. And I think that the reps that Donovan Edwards is getting in practice on specials is not indicative of their desire to keep him. On the 53, I think it's indicative of their desire to stash him on the practice squad. They're trying to build a long-term case for Donovan Edwards because they know that he's probably not making it as a pure running back on this team. So I agree. I think they do want to find a way to keep him. We'll see if they can get creative and find a way to do that. But you can't take Wangwu off the roster.
Can't. No, he does that really well. I think that's important to them. It's going to be interesting to see what they do at wide receiver, right? You talk about Gibson, you talk about Lazard. Could one of them be stashed on injured reserve to buy them more time and open up a roster spot? Do they value Smith more than they do a guy like Skinner? Is Pritchard making the team because of his punt returning ability? I'm very fascinated to see what they do at wide receiver because you have Garrett Wilson. We know Arian Smith's on this team. We know Josh Reynolds on this team. After that, I mean, there's a lot of questions with all those players in that room.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot to even bring up Lazard because at this point, it's almost like a foregone conclusion to me that he's off this team at some point this year. Somebody, it might have been Will, brought up the possibility of they don't want to let him get away before week 1 because then he just goes and signs with Pittsburgh and he gives them the playbook and everything. So maybe that's a stash on IR. And then when he comes back, say, oh, we don't really have a seat for you here. So go ahead and pursue other opportunities. But I just don't, with what he showed in training camp or what he didn't show, I guess is a better way to put it. Like he was dropping the ball. He was the same guy, right? There's nothing has changed with Allen Lazard. So without Aaron Rodgers here, what's kind of the value of that? And, it would be blocking, but if you could fill that with other people, then I think it's sorry. And so with Gibson, it's like, can you find that skill set with somebody else? Because Gibson is not this regime's guy. He earned his stripes with a group of coaches that is no longer here anymore. So if they can get a little bit younger, a little bit cheaper there, then they probably will. And I think that like with the wide receiver, like it's almost like common sense will win out here. So like if you have watched the preseason games and you've seen who the ball goes to, like just believe it, right? Like the ball's going to Pritchett, the ball's going to Skinner, the ball's going to Brandon Smith. Are you seeing Xavier Gibson get a bunch of balls? No. Allen Lazard hasn't even played. So I have a feeling that when all is said and done and this like kind of shakes out at the wide receiver position, it's going to kind of feel right. Like you're going to be like, okay, that makes sense. That was kind of the guys that were getting balls the whole time. Right. So we'll see.
It's going to be fascinating to see some of the roster gymnastics they could do as you bring up with like the IR stash of a Gibson or a Lazard. But a guy I want to get your thoughts on. What do you make of Jeremy Rucker? I mean, if he wasn't from Long Island, would we really be talking about him the way we are, like holding out hope? He could, like, let's be real. Like, we love the story. We love Bill Rucker. He watches the show. I've met him before. But at the end of the day, like, he's done nothing. And like, I don't even think he's that great of a blocker. And if his job on the team is to be a good blocker, you mean to tell me they can't find someone who's going to get cut next week on waivers that could add to the room as a blocker? I don't see it with Rucker right now.
To answer your question directly, if there was not that emotional connection to the fan base, no one would talk about him. He's completely invisible every time he plays. I personally, this is not based on anything. I didn't hear this from anyone. This is just a outside personal opinion. I wonder if Aaron Rodgers like melted his brain a little bit, which is not, it's not great. It's not a good excuse. Like if you get your brain melted by a cranky 40-year-old quarterback who is known to like yell at his pass catchers, and that gives you that much trouble, like that's not a good thing either. So I'm not trying to make an excuse for the guy, but he doesn't seem right. He seems like he overthinks everything when he's on the field. I will say the day that we were at practice for Green and White, he made a really nice block on a Justin Fields scramble that sprung him for a touchdown. Like he was downfield 20 yards ahead of the play, and right at the goal line, he sealed off a back end safety that allowed Justin Fields to get into the end zone. And I was like, okay, like here you go. There's something for you to build on. But there's the consistency's not there. The pass catching ability is not there. The yak, I think, was never really on the table with Jeremy Rucker. At this point, he's relying on a relationship with Justin Fields and the emotions of the fan base, which really don't come into play at all as far as Aaron Glenn is concerned. And those are the only two things that I think keep him in conversation, because what we've seen on the field and the play is just so inconsistent and doesn't, by the way, like line up with his college film either. Like in college, there was something there. He was a viable red zone target. He was a good blocker in college. And so his inability to translate that skill set to the pros. And by the way, like, it's not like he played at like Morehead State, right? He was on a top tier college program. So he should have been able to translate those and make the jump to the NFL, but he just hasn't. And it's head scratching. And that's why I go to like the did Aaron Rodgers stunt his development in some way, shape, or form, because it doesn't line up. Like what you see with your eyes doesn't line up with what he put on film in college.
I just don't think he can play. Like I don't know. I haven't seen it from him. I remember last year he ran the wrong route in the Tennessee game, that he would have had an easy touchdown. That was on him, not Rodgers. So it hasn't worked. It's unfortunate. It's a great story, but guy's a 3rd round pick. He hasn't scored a touchdown yet in his career. We're going to year 4. So it's disappointing. I mean, Andrew Beck feels like tight end too, well, technically being a fullback.
Yeah. And Andrew Beck, again, like, so go back a couple years, right? When Conklin was still around and Rucker was trying to figure out a role, I think there were a lot of people who were saying, like, why don't they try Rucker at H-back, right? That what Andrew Beck is doing right now, which is like a little bit of tight end, a little bit of fullback, move around the formation, do some crafty things, be a lead blocker, like just be a lunch pail guy and do everything that the offense needs of you. And I don't know why that never got on the table and became a possibility, but Andrew Beck has taken that and like run with it. And I think he's definitely making the team at this point. And Andrew Beck has the capability not only to help as a tight end, but also to kind of help the running backs, right? In this wide zone scheme that the Jets are going to run, he's going to be able to kind of be a lead blocker, coming down the hole, looking for the secondary defender, and kind of deciding, okay, this is where the running back needs to cut here. He's gonna bounce it around the edge, and based on my block, like I can spring this play loose. And he's shown a little bit of a feel for that, not only in the games but in practice. So I think agreed. Like Andrew Beck has earned himself a role. I think earlier in camp, people were talking about, could they maybe treat Andrew Beck like, what was the fullback that was hanging around the team last year that they cut like 7 million times and they just kept bringing him back? Do you remember his name?
Yes. God, I know who exactly.
It was the guy that everybody made a big deal about cutting when they activated Aaron Rodgers, even though he wasn't going to play at the end of the Achilles season. And everybody was upset about it. Either way, like
someone in the chat will know. So, I met his family before the Raiders game. I met his dad and his grandma, funny enough. And his grandma was just ripping Nate Hackett to me, which I thought was so funny. His grandma.
That's awesome. So, yeah, I mean, like, I think at the beginning of camp, people thought it might be a similar situation to that, where Nick Bawden, yes, where it was going to be like a practice squad elevation cut guy that you were going to move up and down all season. At this point, I don't know. I think Andrew Beck has kind of carved out a role on the team, and he might be here to stay. So good for him for seizing the opportunity. And, Jeremy Ruckert's loss is his gain.
Well said. We're talking with PK Paul Kilgallen from Badlands. Get your tickets for the Badlands season kickoff party at Stout Grand Central this upcoming Saturday. I'm going to be hosting the event. It's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of guys from the Jets beat are going to be there. Matt O'Leary, I know, is going to be there. Obviously, Will Pa, who joined us yesterday and will join us every Monday during the Jets season for the 5th straight year. Caparoso, Rogers, PK, you name it. Use code Asman at checkout so I could give you 10 raffle tickets as a little incentive for supporting Badlands and for being an Asmaniac representing. All right, I want to get to some super chats here. We'll mix in some calls, I should say, with Paul as well. But first, a couple super chats and memberships to acknowledge. Black Gypsy writes in, the sports media narrative for Fields is he will not change, that just the way he plays should be an interesting season. I hope Peter Castro's right about him, but not looking great. So Peter Castro believes Justin Fields will lead the Jets to an 11-win season. I hope he's right. I just don't see this team being able to win that many games unless Fields truly breaks out and has that Darnold Mayfield-esque season. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I think 8, maybe 9 is like the ceiling for this team in my mind. But once again, I hope I'm wrong. I don't think anyone had Minnesota winning 14 games with Darnold a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, the NFL is a wacky league, and there's a reason it's so popular, right? You remember the NFC South turned over division winners for like 10 years in a row or something. Like, crazy stuff happens in the NFL. People get hurt. people emerge out of nowhere. Joe Flacco is starting for the Cleveland Browns again. Like, this is a wacky league. I think if you're talking about an 11-win season, I don't think it's completely outside the realm of possibility. I think we're talking marginal percentage chances at the top there, but like, it would require some good bounces. It's going to require them to knock off Buffalo at some point. It's going to require, maybe a wacky penalty at the end of a game that actually goes the Jets' way for once in our lives, and we get the right bounce. It's going to require maybe we're playing a really good team at the end of the season and they're resting people, or maybe a team has a major injury that kind of changes the outlook of them on the schedule, where we're looking at it and we're saying that's a loss, but maybe it becomes a win based on something like that. So look, anything can happen in the NFL. If you're telling me Justin Fields becomes a 4,000-yard passer and is going to throw for 30 touchdowns, and that's how they get to 11 wins, like, I have a hard time with that. And by the way, like, as big of a Sam Darnold defender as I am, I wasn't even in the preseason last year being like, Darnold's going to lead Minnesota to a division title in the playoffs. Like, come on, right? Like, it's hard to see this stuff coming. That's why the NFL is good. That's why the NFL is what it is. But do I think it's in the realm of possibility that they could eke their way there and get up to like 10-ish wins? Yeah, I do. And I'm kind of more of a positive Jets fan than I think a lot of other people are. But I do see it as a possibility. I do think it's unfair to say, as the sports media narrative, that Fields is not going to change based on what we've seen in 2 preseason games. You look at all of Fields' preseasons and training camps, this is what he does, because they don't let him run in the preseason. Like, Meigs made a great point when I was talking to Meigs last night on our show, that like, if you took a UFC guy who is a kickboxer, right? And that's his specialty, is like, when he gets in the ring, he's going to just roundhouse kick you to death. And then you put him in a boxing match and like, he's not going to look good. Right. And that's what you're doing to Justin Fields. You're taking a guy whose strength is his legs and you're saying you're not allowed to use your legs. Go ahead and throw the ball, which, by the way, I support, because that's the part of his game that you need to grow in the preseason. And when it doesn't matter, let him throw the ball 20, 30 times. I don't care. But it's not going to look right, because you're not letting him play his entire game. And so for any narrative to be building around Justin Fields right now about whether he can or can't take a next step, I just think is unfair and wrong. Like, we're not going to know that until probably week 4 of the regular season.
Black Gypsy, you are in the raffle with the super chat at the end of the stream. For 2, we're giving away a signed AG photo to anyone that gifts a membership or sends in a $10 super chat or higher. Roster Dread is the latest Asmaniac to enter the raffle. He is in for 1 by gifting 1 channel membership. By the way, how awesome was that hit by Stone Smart on Abdul Carter? I love it.
Oh man, it's such, what's funny is it's like it's a normal football play. Like, it happens, right? Like, guys get chips when they're not looking because his eyes were in the backfield on the quarterback, and he thought Stone Smart was going to run a route, and he wasn't looking for the chip block. And then I forget who, I think it was Chooks behind him that then added like the second hit and put him on the ground again. It's a normal football play that would have disappeared within 2 days if Abdul Carter didn't jump on Twitter and try to defend it and say that
made it worse.
And try to clown the Jets, because now he looks like a clown, right? And it's going to exist far longer now than it would have if he just let it pass. It's very butt fumbly in the way that like a bigger deal is being made about it than probably should be. But it was made worse by kind of like the surrounding aspects of it.
I totally agree. I think by him acknowledging it and by pushing back on it and being butthurt about it, he set himself up for the ridicule to be nonstop. Like, he brought so much more attention to it than it needed to be. I mean, it's crazy. So,
yep.
Spot on. Tom D says, let's go. Put me in the raffle. Tom D, you won a Garrett Wilson shirt yesterday. Will you win an AG signed photo today? You're in the raffle for 5. Thank you very much, Tom D. Shout out to Jeffrey Lewis. He became a channel member. He entered himself in the Asmaniac raffle. Ricky says goodbye to Corley and Xavier Gibson. I tend to agree. I don't think Corley's making this team. Gibson, maybe if he's like IR'd, he's stashed, there's a path perhaps. But I think Pritchard's outplayed Gibson, and I don't think Corley has done anything. So I do agree. I think both guys are not on the initial 53.
Yeah, I'm there. Like, if you go back and we take off the Aaron Rodgers goggles about Aaron Rodgers wanting Malachi Corley, it just wasn't a good pick to begin with. That's a player that maybe you take a flyer on in the 6th, 7th round, but you don't draft a gadget player that highly. And he wasn't a wide receiver. And I think one of the biggest indictments of the Joe Douglas, Robert Saleh era is that text that came out that said Malachi Corley no matter what. Who knows if that was real or if that was a PR stunt. But if you guys really had him as like wide receiver 4 or 5 or wherever they had him on your board, you're crazy, right? And I think a lot of people knew that. Like that was a pick that, again, draft experts will vary guy to guy about where guys are rated. But when you look at the consensus board, this is something Connor Rogers says all the time. When you look at the consensus board and where you took a guy is very far off from where the consensus board has him, there's a problem in your evaluation process, right? And so bad pick from the start. And in my opinion, the sooner you cut it off, the better.
100%. It's just, you can't be that wrong on a player. Like it's just brutal. Hopefully this new regime is a lot better when it comes to that. Austrian Jet fan in the raffle for 1. Shout out to you, Austrian Jet fan. Ricky NY, you are in the raffle for 1. Ricky doesn't get paid till tomorrow, so I said I'll put it on your tab, Ricky. He's in the raffle for 1. We know Ricky loves himself some Aaron Glenn. Coach James in the house. He's using his 19-month as Maniac membership. It aggravates me a little that fans jump to extremes. Green Bay and the Giants during the preseason, I think, will be an 8-game or better year, and that will be a good year for the first-year coach. Let's go. So Coach James thinks 8 wins or more. Look, to put it in perspective, if the Jets won 8 games, it is their highest win total in a decade. They have not won more than 7 since the last time they had a winning season, which Fitzpatrick and Todd Bowles in 2015. So, yeah, 8. Well, no one's going to be having a parade. That would be significant improvement over the last decade. That's how pathetic this franchise has been.
Yeah, the Jets have a history of getting a good first year out of head coaches. Like they went on a run where head coaches made the playoffs in their first year for like, I think it was like 4 or 5 head coaches in a row, going back to I don't know, maybe Al Groh might have missed when he went 9-7.
He did. It was Herm, and then you had Mangini, and then you had Rex. So you had 3 straight playoffs in year 1.
Bowles almost did.
But
Tompkins
almost
dropped
too.
The ball.
Right? Parcells almost as well. He took over a 1-win team. They won 9 his first year. Groh 9-7. So you had a streak where every first-year coach at least had a winning record for a while.
But if Coach Rodriguez there is an actual coach, I think he understands the value of good coaching. And like, that's kind of my entire theory on this season is like, yeah, the roster might be a little worse. The coaching is so much better. And we're going to find out how much that's worth.
Tough to argue with that one. It really is. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach James with another super chat here is a $10 special. He says, Jake, I agree with you. No panic. Stay focused with steps forward with positive growth and more wins than the previous 5 years. If we make the playoffs this year, wow, but next year should be the reality. Well, I mean, as far as next year, so much of it comes down to who the quarterback is, right? If Justin Fields is the guy, then okay, there is a path to being a playoff team next year. You continue to build the roster. Fields another year in the system. Is he the guy? If you're unsure on Fields, you're probably drafting a quarterback. And if that happens, I don't know if you expect to be a playoff team with a rookie a year from now. That's why the best path for the Jets to be good and be a playoff team and end this drought is if Justin Fields turns out to be the long-term guy and not just a guy who's a bridge quarterback for a season. That's just the reality we have to accept as fans. You need a quarterback in this league.
I'd like for Justin Fields to be the starter, the unquestioned starter of this football team for a minimum of a year and a half. Even if he's bad enough this year where they draft a quarterback in the first round, you have him on a cheap contract next season. And I believe that he should start the next season as well. And, maybe whether it's you want to have your rookie quarterback sit an entire season and watch and you see what happens, fine. Or maybe you want to do the Giants thing, right? And like they did with Kurt Warner and Eli, where you let the guy watch for 6 or 7 games and then you say, all right, have you seen enough? Like, let's go. It's time to run. So I'd like to see Justin Fields be the, like I said, unquestioned starter for a minimum of a year and a half. If it goes longer, that would be obviously best case scenario. But if they do put themselves in a position where they have to draft a quarterback in the first round of next year, I still don't want to see him start out of the gate. I'm too scarred from Darnold and Wilson. And, what we've seen around the league is I think it's better to sit, right? And so I'd like to see Justin Fields kind of play out this 2-year contract.
Black Gypsy in the raffle for one more. He gifted a channel membership. Thank you, Black Gypsy. Weave the Dweeb says, do you think Brandon Smith makes the roster, PK?
I do. Yeah. I think, again, if you listen to the breadcrumbs, the way coaches talk about people, Aaron Glenn really has had a lot of glowing things to say about him. And I think that's as good of a clue as any, that like when the coaches like you and they think that you can continue to develop, they want to keep you around. Aaron Glenn has made a point in many of his media appearances to say, I'm in the business of collecting good players. And when he's bringing up your name proactively in press conferences, I would think that puts you on his good list as opposed to his naughty list. And they're going to find a way to keep him, whatever gymnastics they need to do it. I think they find a way to keep him around and try to continue to develop him.
Tough to argue with that. And I do agree with you. You could tell when Glenn likes a player. It's early. We're still kind of interpreting what Glenn's speak is. You go through that with every coach, but he did highlight Brandon Smith, called him Smitty. So I'm right there with you. Peter Castro with a super chat. He's the believer of all believers in Justin Fields. He says Fields is Ryan Fitzpatrick on steroids. Wouldn't that be something?
Yeah. I mean, look, the Jets have never had an athlete like this at quarterback. I think Zach Wilson was athletic. I always try to tiptoe my way through this comparison because I think Zach was, for lack of a better word, a little bit of a wuss. What we saw at BYU with him running the ball did not materialize in the NFL. I don't know if that preseason game against the Eagles early in his career made him gun shy or what happened, or maybe his head was just wrecked from trying to run an NFL offense and having to go through the progressions. And it was way more complicated than what he dealt with at BYU, but he had the athleticism, I think, in his body, but it never materialized onto the field. Justin Fields is bigger, stronger, faster, more athletic. He's like everything Zach Wilson plus, right? And he has just as strong of an arm. So we have never had an athlete like this. I think, you could say Fitzy was squirrely, but I think Fitzy kind of outplayed his own athleticism a little bit. He played more athletic than he actually really was. I think Darnold had it in him, but never really showed it. There was that one run that I remember against Denver that was a long rushing touchdown. He had a pretty couple good athletic plays against San Francisco. Remember, there was a game where he rolled out against San Fran and threw across his body a really deep ball. But we've never had a just freak like Justin Fields before. And so I think you could just say Fields is like anybody on steroids, right? He's maxed out the bars on all the Madden ratings for athleticism and all the traits that you look for. The question is, can he think like Fitzpatrick? Can he be smart like Fitzpatrick? Can he know when to check it down and when to push it down the field and do all those things? Because we know he has the physical capabilities of doing all of it. What we haven't seen in the NFL yet is the processing power behind it to make those smart decisions. And so I think everything we've seen from him, the way he talks, he's got it in him. It's just a matter of getting the reps and getting comfortable with it and having the confidence in himself that he is making the right call when he's on the field. Because when those bullets are flying, that's when people either panic or kind of settle in to the groove and start getting into the flow of the game. So I'm hopeful for it. I think Justin Fields is a great guy. I've said it a bunch of times already. I'm just so happy to have a quarterback who's not a weirdo, because it's been a few years of just really weird stuff at quarterback where saying weird things in the media, arguing with beat reporters, and we go back to the pre-draft scouting report of Zach Wilson. I forget who it was that called him a 3-car garage kid. And that's kind of what we got, right? It ended up kind of being true where he wasn't really able to take accountability. He pushed an offensive coordinator out the door because the offensive coordinator was trying to coach him hard. And so with Fields, I mean, man, when the guy speaks, I'm just like, this dude is chill. He handles everything. He keeps everything on the level. It's just a matter of him. Can he get through those reads? Can he handle like the super cerebral part of being a quarterback? Because he kind of has everything else.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Hamburger is the latest listener to enter our Aaron Glenn signed photo raffle at the end of the stream. He gifted a membership. Enter for your chance to win. Plus, you qualify for next week's weekly raffle. I'm going to reveal those top prizes coming up in just a bit. Tom D says, Jake, it doesn't let me gift memberships. Can you do it for me? I'm putting you in, Tom D, for 5 with this $20 super chat. Beastbreaker writes in, just made French toast and sausage. Beast, thank you for the update. All right, I actually have some real football breaking news.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
The return of Danny Dimes. Daniel Jones has been announced as the starting quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. So he beats out Anthony Richardson. And think about this. This just makes me angrier as a Jet fan that they blew that game to the Colts last year and allowed Anthony Richardson to rip off an 80-yard game-winning drive against the Jet defense. Coaching. It matters, and hopefully we'll never see something like that again, but Danny Dimes is back. He's starting for the Colts, and man, really does feel like that Richardson pick shaping up to be a big-time bust for Indianapolis.
Yeah, man. What must it be like to be a Colts fan? Like, it feels like they've had a good team for like 7 or 8 years, and they just keep trying to find the right quarterback to put in the middle of it, and they can't seem to land on it, right? It'll be really interesting to see what Daniel Jones looks like outside of what was happening here in New York with him, because he got very, very high early on. One of his first games against, I think it might have been his first start against Tampa Bay, down in Tampa Bay. I think he had a rushing touchdown. I think he threw a game-winning touchdown with Eli watching him on the sideline. And he got celebrity status with Giants fans. Like, he got big quickly here, and then it was just like this long, slow, painful decline. So it'll be interesting to see. You peel him out of that New York market, you put him in the Midwest, you put him in a little bit more of a calm situation. It'll be interesting to see what he can give that team. Unfortunately for the Colts, I think it's going to be a lot of the same, where you're going to say, man, this Colts team is really good, but they just can't find the right quarterback to put in the middle of it. But it'll be interesting.
Was there a sadder quarterback competition in recent memory than Anthony Richardson versus Daniel Jones?
Jake,
Man.
would you rather be a Jets fan, a Colts fan, or a Chargers fan?
Chargers, because I feel like I have the quarterback and the coach.
But they're cursed, man. There's something wrong with the Chargers.
But they've been good. They make the playoffs. Like, I'm in no position to poo-poo what a playoff appearance is.
Yeah. So, like, I just go back to, like, Nate Kading missing the field goals against us in the playoffs. And it seems like no matter, like, they had LaDainian Tomlinson for 10 years. LaDainian Tomlinson won, I think, 2 playoff games as a Charger. They were, like, the best team in the AFC outside of, look, Peyton Manning and Tom Brady were happening at the same time as Phillip Rivers in San Diego. So whatever, but like, they were a top level team in the AFC almost every year for almost 10 years straight. They won 2 playoff games with arguably the best offensive weapon of all time. Wild.
I get it. But I believe in Harbaugh. He comes there year one, they make the playoffs. They've been such a mess before that. So all fair. I don't know, man. I want to make the playoffs so badly. It will crush me if Daniel Jones does the Sam Darnold or Baker Mayfield and Justin Fields is just terrible. Like, that might be that's going to be tough to swallow if that happens,
Yeah. I wonder how much Daniel Jones soaked up from Minnesota's coach. Like, if that the short couple of months stint he had there under that tutelage is going to stick with him in Indy, or if it was more of like and we'll see the same thing with Darnold, by the way. Do those lessons stick with him in Seattle, or does he revert back to who he was? So I think both of those guys are going to be interesting case studies in like the lasting effect of being coached by Minnesota.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy. All right, PK, let's get you out of here with a couple quick hitters. Do you expect the Jets to play their starters against the Eagles Friday night?
They damn well better, because this is a young team that doesn't need to rest and nurse injuries. If there are guys that have injury designations, fine, right? If Quinnen is still healing up his calf, sit him. If Jermaine Johnson's Achilles is not ready to go in a game situation, sit him. All that aside, the core of this group needs reps. I want Justin Fields to throw the ball 30 times against the Eagles. So, yeah, I really want them to play. Do I think that he throws the ball 30 times against the Eagles? No. I think at best we're hoping for maybe a few series. But I do want them on the field. I think, to me, I come back to Aaron Glenn's can't get this guy off my mind, dude. We need to get some distance between us and Aaron Rodgers so we can stop talking about it.
Get ready for week one. You know my big fear.
If you look at Aaron Glenn's halftime interview with Otis Livingston and his post-game press conference, he was like as angry as we've seen him to this point as Jets coach. And I don't think he lets the starters end the preseason on that note. He was extremely unhappy with how sloppy they played last week. And I think he wants to end on a more positive note. And I think he gives them a chance to do that in the Eagles game.
Hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Weekly raffle is coming up shortly, so get ready for that. All right, PK. Predict the New York Jets record for 2025. Let's get a record prediction from you on the way out.
I'm going 9-8. I do believe that they're going to exceed expectations. I've been saying it from the jump that it's the value of coaching. It's not about Justin Fields over Aaron Rodgers. It's not about relying on Justin Fields taking this massive leap. It's about having a coaching staff that sees the strengths in the team, knows what players they can rely on, and builds game plans and games around those guys. And not only that, but is able to adapt in game to different things that happen. We've had coaching staffs for the last few years who maybe could build a game plan and could run that first scripted drive well and could build a defensive plan that neutralized what the offense that they're going against does best. But then as soon as something changed, everybody was on their heels and they couldn't handle it. I think we have guys now who have a plan A, they have a plan B, they have a plan C, and they're going to come into games ready to go. They're going to come out of the locker room with their hair on fire, with some urgency. And I think that earns you 3 or 4 more wins. And if we're saying that this team is capable of, I think the Vegas total is 5.5 or 6.5, depending on which book you look at. I think the coaching gives them 2 to 3 more wins than that. So I'm putting them at 9 because I'm positive and I like to think positively.
How about this for a shameless plug from Coach James? This is well done here, folks. This is how you do the plug. Paul, I'm a leadership coach for 35 years, CEO of a restaurant chain. If Glenn follows 10 keys to influence and impact found in my book, Leadership Unlocked, 10 keys to influence and impact will be a winning team.
A master of promotion. I'm going to Google the book as soon as I get off.
That's right. James is a longtime listener of the show. So plug away, James. You're the man. Appreciate your support. PK, I will see you Saturday. Hopefully my red-eye flight Friday night is on time, and I'll get some sleep on it because I'll be ready to roll at 4 o'clock, 4 to 7, Jet fans. Badlands kickoff party. I'm emceeing the event. Paul's going to be there. Will Pod, Joe Caporoso, Connor Rogers, Matt O'Leary. Some guys on the Jets beat could be there. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Come celebrate the Jet season kicking off with us from 4 to 7 on Saturday. Code Asman at checkout. You'll get 10 raffle tickets in a weekly raffle if you purchase your ticket and use that code. PK, see you Saturday, man. Thanks for hopping on the show.
I'll have a shot of Henny waiting on the bar for you when you arrive.
Love it. Ladies and gentlemen, PK, Paul Kilgallen from Badlands. Excellent spot with him. Does a great job. Very fair. Good takes. Love that from Paul. Philly Noodles in the house. You guys can see Super Chats are still not working fully, and membership. Sometimes it comes up in color. Sometimes it doesn't. Like this one from Peter Castro is a $2 one. Same thing from Philly Noodles. And this one is in color. So bear with me. But if you enter to win the Aaron Glenn signed photo, I will make sure you are accounted for. Hey, Chef Kev, where you at? No one's happier that Daniel Jones is starting for the Colts than Philly Noodles. He's a Daniel Jones truther. That is a real thing. Almost as bad as being a Zach Wilson truther. Crazy. All right. Who's ready for a raffle? I know I'm ready. Wheel of Champions, 3 huge prizes to give away. Ladies and gentlemen, that time is right now.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac Raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Oh, yeah. Hit the music. Here's everyone who's entered over the last week. If you win, email me your address, asmanjake@gmail. Need your name as well. Name and address, and I will mail your prize out today. If you don't get back to me by this afternoon, you're going to have to wait till I get back from Vegas, because I'm headed out to Vegas for our annual broadcast weekend with Circa. Ladies and gentlemen, prize number 1 today is right here. It is a signed jersey by the GOAT, the greatest corner of all time, Darrelle Revis. If you win, you know what to do. Email me. Good luck to everyone, and sincerely thank you to all the listeners who contribute and make these raffles possible each and every week. This is, believe it or not, our 36th raffle. 36th raffle since we started it December 1st. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go. The winner of a Darrelle Revis jersey is Ralphie Rocks. Ralphie, congrats, my friend. Don't let your daughter wear this signed jersey. Ralphie was at our watch party on Saturday. He told me his daughter stole his Anthony Beck signed jersey and wore it. So he had to get it dry cleaned, and the signature might not be on there. Ralphie, look, I love Anthony Beck. He was an awesome Jet. He's with the organization as a broadcaster. I would say Darrelle Revis, this jersey, a little more expensive, a little more meaningful. Don't let your daughter wear it. But congratulations to Ralphie. That is awesome that he won. All right, Ralphie's a winner. Who's going to win prize 2? Which is a signed Ring of Honor inscription jersey by one of my favorite Jets ever. I think he's a Hall of Fame player, Nick Mangold. Ladies and gentlemen, winner number 2 today is Kenneth N. Kenneth N. Congratulations, Kenneth. Appreciate your longtime standing support of the show. Good luck to our last winner now. Ladies and gentlemen, Robbie Sabo's co-host, Wayne Corbett, signed Jets helmet. Ladies and gentlemen, one last spin. The winner of our final raffle prize this week is NYCSRQ. Shout out to NYC. He lives down in Florida. I actually met him coming back from a Knick game on the Long Island Railroad a few years ago. He recognized me, and I think at the time that was the first time anyone's ever recognized me when I was in New York. I was still living in Houston at the time. It was like 2022. So NYC, awesome that you won, my friend. Corbett, a Jet legend. So are you. You are our winner for our final weekly prize. Hit the Jet chant. Now, we're not done just yet, folks, because guess what? At the end of the show, we're giving people a chance to win this signed photo by the current head coach of the NYJ. So gift memberships or super chats to qualify. And let me share the top prizes in next week's Asmaniac Raffle. We do daily prizes, and then the big prizes are the weekly ones. So our top prize, a signed Broadway Joe Namath jersey. Prize 2, a signed Hall of Fame inscription, Kevin Mawai jersey. And Kevin will be joining us on the Gangrene Legends cruise. Oh, yeah. And then prize number 3, signed photo by Joe Klecko and Mark Gastineau, or excuse me, Joe Klecko and Marty Lyons, featuring the New York Sack Exchange with Abdul Salam and, of course, Mark Gastineau. So those are the top 3. We might add another one. Stay tuned for that. But Kevin Y jersey, name it jersey, sack exchange photo, your top 3. Gift the membership to enter, and I'll do this. The first person to get us started here by gifting 10 or more, I'll double it for the weekly raffle. So a 10 spot gets you 20. First come, first serve, and I'll add you to this daily raffle at the end of the show. But again, congrats to our winners, Ralphie Rocks, Kenneth N, and NYC SRQ for winning our 3 prizes in our weekly raffle. With that said, phone lines open for those of you who want in on the conversation. Julian says, get me in daily, please. I'm on the phone. Let's go, baby. Julian, I will put you down for 2 with this $10 super chat. Gift away for your chance to win. Let's see what you guys are thinking. Comments, questions, your super chats. They cut the line. First up today is a man hard at work. The Hamburger. Mr. Burger, hello.
What is up? How we doing?
What's up, Burger?
Not much, man. Just stocking up my safety box right now. Yeah, man. Listen, I know there's a lot of truthers out there already for this guy, but I don't know. I have a hard time believing in Fields yet. I have a feeling it's going to take a lot to change what he's done over the last 3 teams that he's been with. So, I mean, I got hope that he's going to be something, but I don't know, man. I have a bad feeling by week 5, we're going to be clamoring for Martinez or for Tyrod Taylor or even that young kid that we have. But I don't know, man. I don't see him becoming a down the field passer. I think we're going to do a lot of running, and I think that's going to get really on a lot of people's nerves if we're not driving the ball down the field. If we're not driving the ball down the field and we're losing by 1 score, we're not moving the chains, and all we're doing is running the ball because they don't trust him throwing the ball. It's going to be a tough sell for everybody. But I don't know. I have hope, man. I don't have belief yet, but I have hope. I'm going into this year different than I have in quite a few. Usually I'm a firm believer and I change my mind right before the season starts and get all on board and get all hyped up. But I don't know. This year I'm trying to go about it a little different. I'm trying to be kind of at 0. I want to see what this team can put up, what the coaching staff can do. The new tight end, I like that kid that we got. I think he's got a good chance of being an actual tight end that could catch the ball and make some blocks. But I think you're right on like Gibson. I think he's gone. I think of the other players are going to be cut today. I just don't see a role for some of them. But I don't know, man. I'm up and down about the team right now. I can't commit and invest my heart back into believing that we're going to be a winner. I think
they need to show wins first, and then we'll be hook, line, sinker, bought in. Like I'm willing to get hurt again if they give me a reason to be excited again. Like right now, I'm going into it with low expectations. I don't expect this team to be a playoff team this year. If they surprise, great, and then we'll all be ready to rally around. Like when they were in 2022, I thought they were going to go 7-10. I didn't think they were going to get to 7-10 after starting 6-3 and 7-4. Right? Like your expectations change based on what happens as the season plays out. Like we were crushed how that year ended. But if you go back to my shows in August going into that year, I thought they were around a 7-win team. They were, but I don't look back being like they met expectations. So how you get to your win total, how the year plays out, that's what determines how kind of bought in you are as a fan.
But I mean, listen, we at this franchise, we're all sick in the head. We all have issues. We all from this team, one or 2 wins, and we're all going to be thinking playoffs again. So it's what we are as Jet fans. We're tortured. We're up and down. We want to believe so bad that this team is going to be something and that we're going to turn the table and actually become a halfway decent franchise. But, at this point now, for me, I got to see it to believe it. I need to see at least 2 weeks of solid football, even if we don't win. I got to see some solid football. I got to see some aspirations of becoming a better franchise in the future. I mean, that's where I stand with the team right now. Believe me, I'm psyched for football. So football for me is, I played 9 years of football. It's in my heart. I miss every second of being on the field when I was in high school and throughout my youth. It was the greatest sport I've ever played. So for me, I love football so much. I mean, I love baseball. My family is involved with baseball and stuff. But for me personally, football is where it's at for me. That's where I don't miss a game. I don't miss a play. Preseason, I miss a little bit. But during the season, unless we're absolutely dreadful, I'll turn the game off. But man, I love football. So I can't wait for it to be back.
I'm pumped. Now, you got the hard hat on there. What's on the agenda today? What are we doing?
Right now I'm just stocking my box. I got to go out on the bridge in a little while. Unfortunately, I can't call you guys while I'm out on the bridge. That's a big no-no. But while I'm in my box room in my office, I can stop by and say hello.
Well, I'll tell you what, Hamburger. You stay right there for a second, all right? I got a surprise for you.
Uh-oh.
Got to get my hard hat on, baby.
There you
Yeah.
There you go. Love it.
Matching hard hats. Hell yeah.
Love it, man. That's awesome. We're not allowed to wear those anymore. Those
How
that
come?
type. We have to wear these new type 2 hard hats. They protect the back of the head. They stay on better, and they come with a cool, stylish chin strap. That this way, when you're up on the bridge, the hard hat can't blow off.
I'll tell you what. You look better in it than I do. You look like a natural.
Well, I've been wearing one for almost 30 years, so. But listen, man, I got to get back to work. You Asmaniacs, Jake, everybody have a great day. And maybe if I get some signal on my drive home, I'll call in for the afternoon show.
Ladies and gentlemen, the great Hamburger. Excellent call. I think he's right. I think that's the right mentality a lot of Jet fans have. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom D, double the fun. We said the first person to gift 10 or send in a super chat of the equivalent, which is $50, we double it. Tom D, in the upcoming Asmaniac raffle at the end of the show and next week's weekly raffle for 20 entries. Hit it, D-Man.
I want to make ssure we protect the prize that B-Man won. Look at this thing. And he's wearing the Bridge jersey. You kidding me? Come on, B-Man. Help him out a little bit. Best we can do with B-Man.
Captain Puerto Rico, away.
Love it. Tom D, thank you, my friend. Ordered your G5 shirt you won yesterday. Should be there within a week or so. Ladies and gentlemen, more of your calls on the Gusbuster Umbrella hotline right now is a man where you determine where he's calling from, inside or outside.
Oh, hey, Jake.
Mr. Clifton, how are you?
I'm doing good. Between the Jets, Colts, and Chargers, I think it might be toughest to be a Chargers fan. They're like Jets West. Like if
They've
you
had
think about it,
quarterbacks, though. They had Fouts, they had Rivers, they've had Herbert.
and it's gotten them nowhere.
I
Like,
get
that's
it,
the
but
frustrating part.
they had more fun seasons than we've had, though. That'd be my argument. It's like, it's what type of pain do you want? You want your season to be over in mid-October like we've experienced most years, the last 15 years? Or do you want to be relevant and then you get devastated at the end?
Yeah, I mean, like if you think about it, like now, when I say Jets West, they're sharing a stadium. They're the little brother, right? They had their own city to themselves. Like if you were a Chargers fan, you'd look forward to going to San Diego if you were from out of town. Like I don't know if that's the same thing necessarily with LA. And, some people love LA, but it's a bit of a sprawl, and the stadium is. I haven't been, but it's on the list. But I don't know. Like Herbert he's been disappointing. Like they should be much better than they actually are. He hasn't elevated them. Let's be frank.
I think that's totally fair. But I think he's never had a real coach yet. He had a coach for 1 year so far. They made the playoffs. Disappointing that he didn't play well in that playoff game, but I would say the jury is still out on Justin Herbert. Like I think most teams in the league, outside of maybe like 10, would take Justin Herbert over their current guy.
Yeah, including us.
For sure.
So as far as positions that are going to shake out on Cutdown Day, I'm looking at tight end. I'm looking, if we were to replace Rucker, There are some guys who came out in the last 2 years that might shake free from tight end deep teams. I'm looking at Jared Wiley from the Chiefs, who was drafted last year and he got hurt. He had an ACL last November, and now he's back from it. He's in a crowded room. And Luke Lachey, who was a 7th-round pick this past year, and he fits the kind of profile, right? A young guy with some potential. We've kind of seen what we can get from Rucker, but he might be caught in a numbers game. I'm just wondering if there's any other guys that you think we might look for specifically in the tight end room, and if there's any defensive tackles we might be able to trade for. We've seen some guys that you wouldn't necessarily expect come up for trade, or at least up in trade discussions with Hendrickson, and now Brian Robinson, who obviously doesn't fit us because of our deep RB room. But I think there's going to be players, especially with this deep defensive tackle class this past year, that are going to shake loose, that might be still relatively young and have a lot left to give, that are just, again, caught in a numbers crunch, and we might be able to trade for or pick up after they're cut.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of who that could be. Off the top of my head, there's not an obvious one that I could picture. I mean, could one of these receivers in Cincinnati be waived? It seems like they have a lot of depth there. Green Bay, I thought originally would be a team to watch, but they have a lot of injuries at their wide receiver spot, because that's where I've been looking. I'm trying to find a receiver that fits what the Jets want, which is under 30 and, could maybe contribute. But I don't know. I do think they'll be aggressive on the waiver wire. I just don't know who.
I saw that Burrow was singing the praises of one of the guys at the end of their receiver room. I think his last name began with a T or something. But any help we can get in those problem positions, and I think we all know what they are. It's defensive tackle, it's wide receiver, and it's tight end. Thanks for your time, Jake.
Kyle, great call. Appreciate you, Mr. Kyle Clifton. Everyone hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe to the show. That's a given. Like and subscribe. Enter our raffle if you haven't. Join my Patreon if you haven't. We update the list of names every month. You get 20% off all items in the merch store, including these 2 new hot sellers at jakeasman.com. The Coach Aaron Glenn, Coach AG shirt, and the G5 t-shirt. Both available in both colors, green, white, and the Garrett shirt is available in youth sizes as well. So check that out, jakeasman.com/shop. All right, more calls right now. Let's say hello to B Heights, who's next. What's up, B Heights?
Jake Asman, my man, what's going on, baby?
What's up, B Heights? How you doing?
Listen, man, I'm still recovering from the loss we took to the Giants, over the weekend, only because I bet on it. I should have known better. After I placed the bet, I was like, man, I feel like they have more depth than us for a preseason game. And then that's when I lose. But, hey, the Hard Rock app here in Florida had them at a plus 271. I was like, I got to take a chance on it.
It's preseason. You're having fun. Hopefully you didn't put a lot on any preseason games.
Nah, I put like $20. It would have won me like 80,
There you go.
70 something. But, hey, that's gas money. I don't like taking no losses. But listen, man, I don't know. I there's a part of me, as a Jet fan, you never want to get, too optimistic. You know how that goes. But I don't know, man. There's a part of me that really believes that we can some way, somehow unlock Justin. If we unlock Justin, forget about it, man. The sky's the limit. That's how I feel about it.
Well, it's a huge if, though. That's the whole thing.
Huge if.
If they unlock Justin, this team could be a legit threat, because I think they have a lot of talent around Justin. It's just Justin Fields has been a below-average quarterback every year he's been a starter. That's the reality.
Every year he's been a starter for sure.
He hasn't been horrible. Like, he was not awful last year, but he's never been above average. At best, he's been average in his career.
How much would you apply that to, I guess the coaching he's had and the systems that he's been under?
Well, the Jets will tell you a lot. I mean, they've made comments basically taking shots at his previous coaching staffs, right? We're going to let him play quarterback. I don't think he's ever had the chance to do that. We're going to unlock him. they've talked the talk on Justin Fields. Now they got to back it up by him going out there and being that dude.
Yeah, because if they're unable to do that, you look crazy as a coaching staff talking down on the previous regimes he was under, and then you turn around and practically do the same thing.
100%. I mean, they have essentially said that they believe they can unlock him. Muji's compared it to what happened with Sam and what happened with Baker. Glenn's used the words, we're going to let him play quarterback. Well, we really have not seen that in the preseason. It's 3 drives, but it's not like he's moving it downfield. He's been very careful.
Yeah,
a lot of what he's done.
I'm hoping that that's due to some of what you've said in the past, like just, I guess them not wanting to show much of their hand too soon.
I think that's part of it. But I think ultimately it's going to be on the coaching staff to design an offense that fits for Fields. I don't think he's ever going to be like this great drop back passer, but can he be efficient? Can he be good on play action? Can he build up great connections with Garrett Wilson and someone else? That could be enough. Like, you're not asking Justin Fields to be a drop back quarterback like Joe Burrow. His superpower is going to be what this offense is built around, his ability to run and the threat of him running as well.
Yep, the RPOs, and I think he has a better O-line than he's had before, if you ask me.
Yeah, 100%.
Definitely got a better O-line. So yeah, man, I'm pumped up. Like I said, I don't know. There's a part of me that's still optimistic. Listen, man, I've been going through this. I'm 37 right now. I've been a Jet fan since I was an infant. I could literally show you pictures of me as an infant in Jet gear. Now, I don't know who did it to me, but that's just what it is.
Look, you know all about the pain then, man. So we're due.
Sure,
we're all due.
Absolutely, man. It's I'm longing for a playoff run. Once we get in the playoffs, it's always possible. It's always possible. We've seen we saw what happened with the Giants. Both Super Bowls they won. I think they were wild card teams, if I'm not mistaken. In both instances, both times they beat the Patriots. So you never know, man. As long as we get in, anything's possible. Just like KG said it.
How about just be relevant into the last month? Give yourself
that part as well. Like, if we're playing some meaningful games in December, hey, I'm there for it, man. I'm there for it. So hopefully that'll be the case as well. But hey, Jake, I appreciate the time, man. Always a pleasure. I'm always tuned in. I'm always locked in.
B Heights, are you on my Patreon? We got to get you in the Discord, man. You got great takes.
Do I need to download the app Patreon or something?
Well, there's an app, but also if you just go right now, patreon.com/Jake Asman Show, all the info's there. You'll see the perks you get, and then the Discord link is included. We got to get you in there, man. I want to see your takes in there.
I'll do it. Patreon.com/Jake Asman.
Jake Asman Show. I'll just put the link in the live chat for you right now. It's in the description for the video too.
All right, sounds good, man. I'll get on it right now.
I love it. If you join, I'm giving you 5 raffle tickets. So there you go.
Say less. I'm in.
My man. B Heights, check it in. Love it. Good call from him. All right, more calls right now, ladies and gentlemen. I got to see this guy in person on Saturday night. He was at our watch party. The champ is here.
The only thing better than Alden shoes is Joey D, cause he totally rules. Jake, my brother, I'm high as a kite. I love everybody. Damn, this show is crazy.
Bonesy.
What's up, baby?
How are you? How is the shoe store today?
It's been good. We've been a little busy in the morning. It's been one of our busier summers in a while, so pretty exciting,
Wow, business is booming for Bonesy.
People need dress shoes all of a sudden. It's Bonesy's back, baby. You know what I'm saying?
That's what they're saying.
Yeah. Well, I'm very excited to call in today. We are probably about an hour and 20 minutes through the show, and I have not seen Beast yet. So this has been we haven't had no bullshit. This has been all Jets talk. It's been a great show. I'm hyped up. Oh, shit. It feels like old times, Jakey Poo. We're back to Philly Noodles. It's back to arguing. I'm about to call in and talk about Aaron Rodgers. I mean, this is fantastic. I saw Look, all I want to say, I saw Dylan chime in a little too with the Aaron Rodgers stuff. If you can really, as a Jet fan, say that Aaron Rodgers didn't, put anything on the line for us, I mean, you're kind of bullshitting yourself, because this man tore his Achilles and then tried as hard as he could to come back. All we had to do is be like 5-7 and alive mathematically, and he was going to put his life on the line playing on a torn Achilles after 3 months. So, like, if you could really say, like, he was already practicing and already showing that, like, he was going to hobble out there and try it if we were mathematically alive. So we couldn't even get a goddamn win. We went to Miami on Black Friday on a national game. All we needed to do was win a game, and Rodgers was probably coming back the next week, and we get blown out because our coaching was that terrible. Like, just never showed up for big games with the previous coaching staff. And I'll still say it till this day. When we go into this season, right, and coaching is great, Wilkes has the defense playing aggressive and run blitzing and, has AG's fingerprints all over it, and you see Tanner developing and scheming guys open, and Nick Folks making kicks, and then, like, we're going to be back to square one. Like, all we're really missing is Justin Fields reading the defense and making what are you talking about? You X'd out my fucking passport shit. I didn't X out anything. Anyway, Joe's screaming at me.
Joe Bonesy, everybody.
Yeah, he's mad at me. I don't know what I did, but
now I do have something for you. I don't know if you are aware of this, but we're having a bonus Azzy Award competition.
Really?
Ladies and gentlemen, the nominees for Best Wife are PBW, Gary's wife, Mrs. Beast, and Mrs. Bonesy.
You guys are too much, man. Gary's wife better take that down. If you guys vote any other way besides Gary's wife, you guys are crazy. Look at that beauty right there.
Oh yeah, she's a hot box of rocks.
that was probably one of the best Bobby situations we've had on the show. But back to football. I personally this year I'm going into, like, we shouldn't have overreacted too much to the Packers, and we shouldn't overreact to the Giants. When the starters were in, it was 7-6 at halftime. Yeah, Fields looked like shit, but what we're doing with Fields right now is we're making him throw the ball, read more, and he can't run. I loved the comparison to, like, the kickboxing thing that he just said, that it's just like if you go into a kickboxing who's been a kicker, roundhouse in all his life, and then you put him in the ring with gloves, it's like Justin Fields' superpower is running. The read option is going to open up the pass, not a wide receiver too like Amari Cooper. That's not going to do us any good. Signing someone of like Amari Cooper or who else is out there? Gabe Davis. No, we're not doing that. We can't throw to our wide receiver one right now.
Yeah, but wouldn't it help if someone else could win a one-on-one?
That's not it. He's missing Garrett. Garrett's winning. He leads that ball to Garrett on third down. That's
one example, though. I think overall, like the issues in the summer, there's been times where people have said there's just no one open, too. A part of it's the Jets secondary is elite. They have 3 really good corners. If Stevens is the real deal, which he looks like he is, we know Sauce is Sauce, and Michael Carter is criminally underrated. But I think it does help Fields. Like I'm not a believer in Fields as a passer either, but I want to put him in the best chance to have success. And I do think upgrading at wide receiver would help. Maybe not as much as it would help other quarterbacks, but I think it would help.
I just personally think that people who are out there right now, like a person who's a veteran, who's like a mental guy who knows where to be on his routes and stuff, that's not what we're looking for, unfortunately, with Fields. Fields is not a progression quarterback who's going to hit his third or fourth option. No, he's looking at his first option, maybe second, and then he's running. So, like, Fields is explosive, man. That man is going to run. He's never had more than 12 games played in a season, and that's because he runs, man, and that's his superpower. So if he's healthy, we're going to have exciting 50-yard touchdown runs. Like, he's electric with his legs, but he always gets hurt. So, like, we have to he's not going through his progressions. He's not that type of quarterback. So we're watching it right now. We don't have a big sample size of it because we've only seen a few drives, but that's not his superpower is going through his progressions. And the last thing I'll say is if this season happens and like we're back to needing a quarterback next year, Rodgers has a decent year with the Steelers. If you're telling me AG isn't going to regret like talking to Rodgers and just trying to convince him like, yo, Rodgers, man, if you come in and run a Tanner's system and buy into what we're trying to do as a young football team, not about you. We're not running your stuff. You're running our stuff. And would it gave him a chance to say no or yes? I think we would we could have had something, but I'll always go back to, the Hall of Famer being the answer rather than, the running quarterback. But I'm still positive though. I still love Aaron Glenn and his whole message and how the team's bought in, and I love what everyone's saying. But mostly what people are saying are complaining about the previous regime and the coaching. So, I love Tanner though, man. I love the offense and defensive corner. I love Wilkes. So I am excited. I'm still excited, and as long as we're in games and we're not, getting blown out. And back to that Chargers comparison, Jake, I would 100% rather be in games in December than out after week 4 or 5. Like we're definitely at the bottom of the barrel between all the Colts and the Chargers. I would have took those franchises over what we've been through.
Yeah, look, the Chargers to me, when they haven't won, there's a path to being relevant every year, and their future feels bright with Harbaugh and Herbert. So to me, it's a no-brainer. You'd rather be the Chargers than the Jets right now. Especially with Herbert. I mean, he's got the intangibles to be a franchise quarterback, and he hasn't had great coaching. So, he had to deal with Staley for all those years. So I'm big on I like the Chargers. I like Harbaugh as well. I'm with you there. So, but Bonesy,
Jay,
you're the man.
You're going to Vegas, and I'm jealous.
Joe Bonesy.
Yeah, he doesn't realize that he's on camera singing, and his thing is coming through the.
Wait, that's him singing Nickelback, and he doesn't know that he's on air, and we can hear him. Yeah. Go tell him to sing.
Joe, keep going. You remind me. We're listening to the radio, so you hear the same fucking song. It's over. Yeah. It's too much.
Wow, Beast says, hell no, Nickelback is garbage. How dare you, Beast? Nickelback's great.
I'm not a big Nickelback guy. It's just on the radio, so that's one a catchy tune. You know that. I really am.
Dude, great karaoke songs for Nickelback.
Yeah, no, for sure. Well, Jake, I love you, buddy. It was great hanging out Saturday.
It really was, Bones. Good luck to your wife and the best wife, Azzy. All right.
I voted. I'm voting Gary's wife. So,
ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bonesy.
Oh, Mr. Bonesy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, home stretch. Get in on the raffle. I'm giving away this AG photo, and also our winners: Ralphie, Kenneth, NYCSRQ. Send me your info. Ralphie, I have your info, but Kenneth and NYC need your info where to send your winning prizes. Our weekly prizes for next week: Joe Namath signed jersey, Kevin Mawai signed jersey, Joe Klecko, Marty Lyons signed 16x20 New York Sack Exchange photo. Jets says, Herbert laid an egg in the playoff. I don't want that scrub either. Oh my God, he had one bad playoff game. You wouldn't, of course you would, calling him a scrub. You wouldn't want Justin Herbert? Yeah, okay. Things that aren't true for 1 million.
What an idiot! Oh, what a loser! Good.
Herbert would be the best quarterback the Jets have had since Namath the second he took a snap. Because remember, when the Jets got Favre, he was old. Rodgers, he was old. Herbert's in his prime. And he's dating Madison Beer. Enough said. Joe DiMaggio, will Fields make the 53-man roster? I don't know, Joe D, but I do know this. Your time to the hole starts now.
Now look what you've done. No more protection from the Asmaniacs.
Had to pull you out of the chat and cast you down with the sodomites. Some time in here will feel like you've been run over by the lane train. You understand me? You catch my drift? Give them another 24 hours to think about it.
We'd all take Justin Herbert in a second. I still can't believe that first comment. More calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is where we're headed. Where standing by is this guy.
You know who that is? The great Marty McFly. Great points on Bonesy's half of Justin Fields. Very good points. Knocking in place, keep it under control. Just got to slow down. It's only one game. Just think of it. When we play Philadelphia, we're gonna bitch slap them. We're gonna take them out back like they used to do in the old West. Draw them out. Done. One hit, one shot, no miss. It's like a game of Battleship. All you gotta do is punch them out. 1, 2, 3. Game over. That's it. No questions asked. And to enjoy everybody's best day, have a good day. It's Taco Tuesday. Go to those taco trucks and go get your tacos now. And remember, folks, get ready. September 7th, Pittsburgh versus New York. You know whose lights is getting knocked out. Aaron Rodgers, we are coming for you.
Hey, Beast, what exactly does that look like?
What? This is Back to the Future.
No, not that. What does it look like? Aaron Rodgers getting knocked out. By the way, that's not Marty McFly.
Michael J. Fox.
Exactly.
This is his lights. I'll give you an example how his lights.
Hey, you got to move your mic. That's not even plugged in. It's just blocking the shot.
Hold on a second, El Muchacho. It's only Tuesday. Today's Taco Tuesday. I know where you're going to probably wind up going because
I don't know what that has to do with you moving your microphone, but sure.
We'll do the explain it. Now I'm going to be very careful because we have a 24 by 36 over here that I'm going to put in.
Hey, Peter Castro says you're a total lard-ass idiot.
Whatever. Here's a picture of Rodgers. One word. See you later. Spine Buster City. That's where he'll be whining. Right on flat on his back like a nice big old pancake. Except hold the butter, hold the syrup, and get a glass of milk. Because he's going to need it if we're done plowing him out and just going. Now have a good day. Arrivederci. Ciao. Ding dong day. Sayonara. Adios. And
Peace. Thank you. Adam is up next. Hello, Adam.
Hey. So I was thinking about this. There is a distinct possibility that like the entire wide receiver room will be completely replaced, except for Garrett Wilson this year. When you think about who's making the roster cuts, isn't that wild?
It's possible. I mean, there's going to be a lot of changes over the next year, I'd imagine, to that room. They got a bunch of older veterans and unproven guys.
Yeah, it's really. I just think it's interesting. Be like, keep Garrett, literally replace all the ones from last year except for Garrett. That's actually.
If you told me even next year, a year from now, the only wide receivers the Jets have are Garrett Wilson and Arian Smith that are on the 25 team that are also on the 26 team, I think it's possible.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, you got to let them, give them a chance on the field. At least we kind of knew what the known quantities were from last year's roster. So at least we're younger. And we'll see if the experience counts. You never really know. People just need to get a chance. I mean, just, look how quickly Brady Cook has improved, right? Give people time on the field in real game situations and, let the cream rise to the top, as they say, right?
100%. I mean, there's just a lot of uncertainty. And we also don't know necessarily what this coaching staff truly values. So that's part of it as well.
Yeah, I think we're all still adjusting to this run first offense and how really committed they're going to be to run first, do or die. But you never know. It would be really nice to see us put up a 40 burger on somebody maybe one time. You never know. It'll be when we least expect it. So that's my hope. We'll score 40 in at least one game. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Why not? Who the hell cares? What if the Cincinnati game is a total
their defense? I guess it's preseason, but I was watching that game last night because it was on Monday Night Football. I mean, and Jane Daniels did play. I mean, yikes. The Bengals defense, I understand Hendrickson's not there, but that's their own fault. They look terrible.
I mean, it would be a really interesting. I think that's going to be a really interesting game because we always play Cincy. It's always entertaining when we play Cincy, right? Was the last time we played Cincy the Mike White game? Was that the last time?
No, they played them in the Flacco started the year before
that one.
Wilson came back.
Yeah, and they beat us pretty badly, I think, as I recall.
They did. The time before that was the Mike White game, which was awesome.
That was cool. Unexpected. We always pull one of these unexpected wins out. So,
and then the time before that, I'm pretty sure Adam Gase gave up watching Thanksgiving or being around Thanksgiving with his family to prepare for the 0-11 Bengals, and the Jets lost.
Well, I'll tell you what, like with all the preseason stuff going on around the league, I am really like happy that the Jets have kind of been no nonsense, especially on social media. Like you haven't even seen any like nonsense from them off the field. Have you noticed that? Like not a peep. It's been all business. And that's got to be from the regime.
Yeah. I mean, let's see if it translates, though, right? We could be excited about that. It means nothing if they don't win games.
Yeah, it's true. Well, it's a starting point, right? It is their first year together. So we'll see how that goes. Hey, Beast is still on. I have an update for him. And I know I talked about this when Connor was hosting, but I found the shirt, Beast. So you want to see it?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let me see what I can do. Let's see if I could flip the camera here. Let's see. I used to be able to do that. I think I forgot how to flip the camera. Anyway, I'll just kind of show it. So, Beast, I heard that you're calling some kind of alliance, and I don't like the Asmaniac community being divided ever. So we're one community. So as a peace offering, if you'll accept this gift, will you call off the alliance, Beast? Here's what I have for you. And I'm really sorry because I can't seem to flip my camera here. But what I have here is an original XFL shirt.
Wow.
The original with the original teams. And yep, remember these ones?
Unmute your mic, Beast. Unmute your mic. Unmute.
Let's see here. I see the Outlaws here. That's one. Okay, I'm familiar with that because Stone Cold wore that one time. Extreme, that's another rarity. Bolts, I don't figure as much. Rage, is that the New York Hitmen right there?
It is the Hitmen. That's right.
Very good. I like that name. Hitmen. The forces were okay. I can find. They got a bunch of those on eBay for a good price, but
yeah.
But I'll tell you, let me see what I'm gonna do first because right now I'm looking at there's two jerseys that I've been dreaming of for years and years. One's a New York Knicks jersey with either John Starks or Antonio McDyess, and two, a New York, New Jersey Metro Stars. Does that name ring
there's
bell?
more. There's more, and this is something you will not find on eBay so easily. This one is signed by Jerry the King Lawler.
He would, except this past couple days ago, he had a match and threw a fireball into somebody's eye.
Wow.
Did you hear about that one?
I did not, but you can see it's when he signed it in 2001.
Go look at it live. It was up there live posted. I'll tell you what. I'll see what I can do for you, champ. But I'll tell you what. Let me come back to you, and you'll be in good hands with Allstate.
Sounds good. If you want it, the price is that you call off the alliance. If you could do that for me.
Let's see how everything goes first. Let's let everything calm down first, because right now everything's a little too spicy right now. So we'll get back to you in a couple of weeks, as they all say in court. Case adjourned. Everybody, 5-minute recess, please. Thank you.
Love you, Beast. Please. Hope you're glad you're more chipper than you've been in days past, man.
Hey, Beast, can you explain more about this wizard spray that you showcased yesterday?
I buy this at Dollar Tree when I'm sitting in the toilet. That is only good for only when you're taking a nice bombing. So please, no more questions. Thank you. Move along to the next caller.
I'm not moving along. I have questions about wizard spray.
Right, yeah. Crappy ones that are very adamant.
Wizard spray. Tell us more.
You can take that shit down. As they say, I don't deal with flaky people or flakes, but in the words of the great Dick Cavett, I smell flakes all over here. So, but in the words of me, have a nice day. Go out and enjoy the beautiful sun while you still can.
How do I top that?
I'll be back.
I just love it. I just love how he always has material. You can fill up an hour with him pretty easily when he's on game.
Adam, great call. Thank you for having material. This was also sent to me. Shout out to listener JP, Canuck Jets 96. Let's put this up on the screen. He's a card collector, and he got a Beastbreaker Dark Magician Yu-Gi-Oh card the other day. So he sent me a photo of this. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Hey, speaking of things that are pretty cool, the Gangrene Legends Cruise is pretty cool. Cruisewithlegends.com for all the information. If you book by September 7th, that's week 1, Jets Steelers, $500 off. $500 off the full cruise. Join me, Fireman Ed, Marty Lyons, Leon Washington, Bilal Powell, Sean Ellis, Jericho Cotry, Chris Ivory, Kevin Mawai, and more. Fireman Ed, Matt O'Leary, Richie from Jets Media, Ryan from Jets Talk, Green Bean. It's going to be a blast, baby. So once again, cruisewithlegends.com. Jersey to Bermuda on the Royal Caribbean Independence of the Seas. Let's go.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
All right, home stretch. Last chance to get in the raffle. No one has really gifted a ton of memberships this show, so I'm going to take matters into my own hands. I'm going to gift the membership. If you want one, do the following. Click the like button. That's the thumbs up icon. Subscribe to the channel. If you've done that, make sure you have in your settings, click the settings button. I want to receive a gifted membership. And I'm going to gift the membership. And if you get it, I'm putting you in our raffle for the signed Aaron Glenn jersey. All right. So that's coming up. So stand by and get ready for that. I'll gift the membership right after this call from Robin, who's next. Hello, Robin.
Hey, good. Is it afternoon? No, it's still morning. Good morning, Jake. Good morning, Asmaniacs. How are you today?
What's up, Robin? How are you?
I'm good, thanks. I'm calling because one of the concerns I have is the Jets seem to have a history of understating injuries. Let's put it that way. We've got a situation with our QB2, and I'm not sure he's going to be ready for first game. And if anything happens to Fields and we have to bring in either one of those two guys, we are certainly going to lose that game. So I'm wondering what you think about that, and do you trust what we're being told?
Do I trust what we're being? I mean, I have no reason to think that they're not telling the truth about
based on the history of misinformation. I don't know if misinformation may be harsh, but understating injuries. Let's put it that way.
Well, I think Glenn's been pretty transparent though with injuries to this point. I have no reason to think he's not being honest. I think he's actually been pretty forthright to this point. Now, is it possible that Tyrod's not ready for week 1? Sure. But I think they would have signed a quarterback if they were truly concerned, or they might like Martinez or Cook enough to, carry one of them for a week, right? You could put them on the practice squad and elevate them for a week as the backup if you have to.
Do you think it's possible he's waiting for one of these quarterbacks to get released that's out there now? Because the two he brought in last week are frightful, in my opinion. We've seen those types in the past. I don't think we want to see those again. Is there anyone that might be released? I know we can't bring in Cousins because he'll still cost money, and I don't think they want to spend money on just that, or they would have brought him in the first place.
Yeah, if it's someone like that, I think it's more likely than not someone that is already on the team between Cook and Martinez. I think they like those guys. Yeah.
Which of the two do you think has a brighter future, in your opinion?
I guess I lean Martinez. He's played well for the most part in 6 preseason games we've seen him in now. I don't think he's bad. He might be. I don't know. I don't think Cook's been awful either. I think the Jets themselves like Martinez better, if I had to guess.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, as a long-suffering Jets fan, I'm hopeful that this season is different. I'm certainly not going to overreact to 2 games. That's ridiculous. I mean, when I saw, we're Jets fans, so we're inclined to lose our minds. I mean, why not? We've seen nightmarish stuff. We've gone into playoffs who were arguably the best team in the tournament and been gone in a couple of rounds. I know I'm an older Jets fan, so I might reflect on that too often for some of the younger listeners. But I think of the year we went into playoff game with I forgot what year it was, but the opening kickoff, Bruce Harper fumbles and Buffalo takes it in. That was the season where we arguably had the best team in the league. So I'm just hopeful it's the opposite, where we have a season where no one's expecting us to do anything and we sneak up on people. Unless we get some production out of wide receivers and at least 3,000 yards in passing, we're not going anywhere. That's my final take. Jake, I appreciate you guys. Love to the Asmaniacs, and send Beast back to the Hogwarts, not the future, the Hogwarts.
Wow.
Bye-bye.
Robin, strong take. Ladies and gentlemen, as promised, I did, in fact, gift a channel membership. It won't come up green for me, but it happened. A membership was gifted, folks. Oh, yeah.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
All right, I'm entering listener Flight Risk Jets in our daily and weekly raffle. He received the gifted membership. Nick Shine also is in on the raffle today. He gifted a channel membership. Good luck to Nick. So Nick Shine is in there. Nick Shine, known for many things. The biggest one being the man that will pick up Coach Joe. Also, I'm going to send people emails and post about it in the Discord for those who purchase tickets to our group outing for the Panther game. We'll have tailgate information coming. It's actually available now, but I'm going to send a long post about it. I've just been so busy with my computer just getting destroyed yesterday and packing for Vegas. But it's going to be $65. All you can eat and drink. We're going to do a raffle as well. So it's a great price. It's with Tailgate Joe and Lot E26. Tailgate Joe has been throwing tailgates forever. If you guys know the Talking Jets guys, they've done stuff with Tailgate Joe, so looking forward to working with him. Nick's handling the tailgate, so if you're coming to our game, even if you're not sitting in our section, but you want to join us at the tailgate, you could Venmo Nick or PayPal or Cash App him. He'll put your name on a list, and we'll be all set. But I'll have this coming in an email and a Discord post, so don't worry. We got time. The game's not till the 19th. But to everyone that purchased the ticket, when I get back from Vegas, I plan on emailing you your ticket. So you'll actually have your ticket in there, your Jets-Panthers ticket for that game. Let's see. Spencer Green, Super Chat, in the raffle for 2. Hey, Beast, here's an idea. For the love of God, brother, plug that nice mic in. Spencer, you are in the raffle for 2. Also, I see there was a question about the cruise. I wanted to address from Sean. Hey, Jake, do the tickets include the cabins or they're included? So when you buy anything for the cruise, it includes everything. It's all inclusive. Now, there's different packages available, right? If you want like a balcony room, that costs more. But if you want just like the standard package, there's a price for that. And it's all included, right? So you're paying for the cruise and you're paying for the all you can eat, all you could drink, like everything that comes with it. It's all on there. And obviously, part of your cost for this cruise is the cost for all the events and different things we're doing with the players, right? Because the players are being paid. So it all goes towards that. Cruisewithlegends.com for all the info. It's going to be a blast. All right. It's almost that time for a raffle. Beastbreaker is the only caller on the line. So we'll get his final thoughts and then spin the wheel of champions.
I just had chicken. Chicken. What's this? What's this look like? It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a chicken. Hey, lovely, lovely, lovely chicken. Lovely, lovely chicken. We're going to be just fine. Get ready. September 7th, Pittsburgh's going to get crushed. September 14th, Buffalo's going to be run over like a freight train on speed dial. Tampa, line them up nicely. We're going to take our biggest boot, a size 14 boot. We're going to turn it sideways and stick it straight up their big fat monkey ass, and we're going to belt them nice and easy. Miami, September 28th, we're coming to your house, and we're going to do a nice thrashing like you ain't never seen nothing. It's going to look like a big demolition derby from 1979. Prepare for it. and get ready for it. And Denver, when we go to London, we're going to thrash you all over London. And you know what? They're going to pick up all your body parts in many different parts of England, from London to Tottenham to Southampton to even going down to Wales. We're going to kick your ass. We will dominate. And we will dominate by example. We do things the old-fashioned way. We bring teams in.
Hey, what's your favorite Nickelback song?
I don't listen to that trash. I listen to Motorhead. We go with Motorhead. We go with Maiden. We go with Priest. We go with Def Leppard. Def Leppard has a way sexier touch than Nickelback. Any day of the week, twice on Sunday. You can take it, put it in the bank with all the money in the world.
Also, what are your thoughts on Mrs. Beast being nominated?
Get out of here. Get out of here.
What's wrong? Wow, we discovered Beast Kryptonite. Apparently, is showing him a graphic that features Mrs. Beast and Gary's wife and PBW and Mr. Bonesy. Stunning. Okay. Rasta Dread. And then a surprise guest will close us out today. Hello, Rasta.
What's going on? What's going on? Good morning, Jake. How are you, brother?
What's up, Rasta? How are you?
Not much, man. I just wanted to show you what came in the mail today. Hold on.
Hey.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Love it,
so
man.
We locked in, man. It's beautiful, brother. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't wait to go ahead and put that in a frame. I'm definitely framing that. And I'm going to actually gift it to my son when we head up to Tampa as a kind of a surprise. I'm going to set the whole thing up, put it in a frame, and kind of present it to him as an additional gift just for going to the Jets game, and, just have some type of memorabilia to start him off with, because he didn't initially start off as a Jet fan. He was just normal Dolphin fan, as any Miami person would be. And then, I kind of, over the years, kind of leaned him over to Gang Green, and now you see he's a full-on Jet fan, collecting cards, collecting jerseys. So I'm just want to add this to his collection to start him off in a good spot, man. So that's about it, brother. I just wanted to thank you personally for the jersey, man. It's absolutely beautiful. I can't thank you enough, brother.
Rasta, well-deserved. Congrats on winning it, and I'm glad that you're going to frame it. That's an awesome gift for your son. That's awesome. All right. I got a super chat here. Spencer Green says, if Beast and Gorman went on a 2-on-1 date, who wins? Who wins in what, though? Are they having a battle royale at the date? I don't know. Spencer, please let us know what you mean. Yeti wrote in, Jake, how many Beast drops do you have? That folder has to be. I have so many, I couldn't even fit them all in a folder.
Pew, pew, pew. Abracadabra.
Rejected. Sorry.
Would you silence, or should I do one of these?
I have a lot.
Right now, we're getting some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you gotta come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
That doesn't even include, like... Or... Or...
Who cares?
Hey, Beast, you're up?
I might be big, I might be bad, but I'm gonna take your ass down.
Yeah, there's a lot more, but I don't have all of them.
You got to fix the internet up, man. We want to hear what you got to say, you know?
Well, don't worry, I got something to fix it. The very first part of the day.
Holy shit.
Unreal. All right, today's closer is a man I just referenced, the tailgate czar, Nick Shine. Hello, Nick.
Konnichiwa. How are you, sir?
I'm good, Nick. How are you?
Yeah, we got Tailgate Joe cooking up for us. There's a Asian bistro, I believe, that day. DJ's going to have 80s music theme. There's a dance floor. There's games. There's bago. There's high tops tables. We'll have tents if it's bad weather. I got a tent or two that I'm going to bring also, in case, depending on the day.
We'll have Big Cho lounge chairs.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Good luck getting them there. I heard you're getting him a nice Uber X. That's what it come down to, huh?
I actually heard differently. I was informed of you picking him up.
Well, no, I mean, me and Cho settled that, so it's time to bury that and cover
Settled
it up.
this.
Yeah.
Not what I heard.
We were on your show, sir.
The Cho-mobile, man.
Oh, then he's got his own wheels. Done.
Yeah. No, we figured
Perfect.
it out.
Imagine seeing that on the turnpike. That would be tremendous. So let me ask you a question. I had a couple errands to run. I missed the beginning of the show. I don't know if you got into this. I've only been here for like the last 45. Did you go over if the starters should play at all this week?
I didn't give my opinion on it this show, but I've said I think they should play a driver. So
how about if Philly's just playing their backups? Does that change your mindset at all with that?
Well, I'd like to see the passing attack thing get going and get some confidence. Like, I get it, it's backups, but like once you do it in a game, it probably can only help.
All right. Yeah. I'm of the same mindset. I know some people get a little worried about, Sanchez years ago. Rex put him out there against backups and he got hurt. Lost the, Gino then took over after Sanchez got hurt. So, there's always a concern with putting guys out there with guys who are trying to make a roster, and some of those backups to the twos might be in that situation. But if you're going to keep doing with Fields what you've done with him, getting the ball out quick, trying to get timing right, I'm okay with that. We haven't seen anything from Fields that we're going to see, right? He hasn't kept an RPO. He's given them all off. He hasn't bootleg, waggled, got out of the pocket. They haven't moved the pocket. They're not showing what they're going to do. And I'm a big fan of that because with the Steelers defense, you don't want them to know how we're going to attack. They might have an idea. They had him last year, so they kind of know his strengths and his weaknesses. But I'm a big fan of you got to hit the regular season in stride. You got to hit it running. And I would play him. Even if it's for a drive and you go down, you get a touchdown against backups, who cares? Boost the confidence of the team, the morale, and get these guys ready for week 1, man, because it's going to be a challenge against that defense.
I agree with you. The only thing is you can't play Fields and then not play everyone with him, right? Like that's the Rex Ryan, Mark Sanchez thing. He was out there with third string linemen in the fourth quarter of the game.
Yeah.
Like Fields, if he's out there, everyone's out there, in my opinion, unless someone's hurt.
Oh, you put the whole unit out.
Correct.
Membu's been getting work. He's been staying on with the twos. So
yeah, because he wants to get the reps. Yep.
Yeah, I think
smart.
With what we saw last week with Brian Burns and company having their way with him, I don't care if it's against twos or who it's against. I want Membu out there. I want the whole offense out there.
Who wins the girl? Beast or Gorman? That's the question from Spencer.
I think it's a 2-for-1 date is like one of those game shows where two guys go on a date with a girl and then she picks the winner. So that's what the question was for you. Like who would come out the winner? I think it depends on the girl.
Yeah, what is the girl into?
Does she want a Prince Charming who's polite and weird, or does she want a Beast who's not polite and weird? It's just a level of weirdness she's looking for.
Well, both have been catfished as well. So is the girl even real?
That's a good point. Could be Jay Quest with another prank. That would be an epic prank if Quest could pull that one off.
Jay Quest better call in this afternoon. Richie from Jets Media is joining me after practice. Jets practicing in the afternoon today. And I want Richie on the show, Jay Quest on the show, and we're going to address Stickergate head on.
I was at camp with Richie last Wednesday. We sat together, and I do have a sticker for Quest. I told him that this one's for you. I will keep it safe. It's in the truck, so when I see Quest, I can give it to him. There you go.
You have more than one.
I have well, you know what? The fans were going nuts for them. Richie was excited to give them out. He said to me, I didn't want to give these to this guy, Jay Quest, last week who was bothering me. I kept them for you, Nick. So I'm like, no, I feel obligated. I feel obligated.
So. Well, hopefully we could, get to the bottom of all this and come out on top.
That's it. But all right, sir. Hope I'll sit in the back. You can bring me back on after I win the raffle, and everyone says it's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nick Shine is right. It is raffle time.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
Our fourth prize that we will be giving away. This prize is a signed photo by the head coach of the New York Jets, Aaron Glenn. If you don't win, you're entered automatically in next week's weekly raffle, which now features our top prize of a Joe Namath jersey, signed by Joe himself, a Kevin Mawai Hall of Fame signature jersey, and a Klecko and Lions autograph photo from the New York Sack Exchange. Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time to pick a winner. I'm not picking the winner. The Wheel of Champions is picking the winner. Good luck to everyone. Here we go. Spencer Green, who's in the chat. Spencer, I know you've won something before, but just shoot me an email with your address, and I will get that sent out to you later today. Congrats to Spencer, and thank you again to everyone who entered our daily and weekly raffles. He's in the chat. Spencer says, let's go. Love it. Spencer's a big Beast fan, so how fitting. All right, that does it for me. Thanks to FanDuel for sponsoring. We'll talk more about Jets, Eagles, and some of the betting stuff later this week. Join the Patreon if you haven't. Also, shout out to you, listener B Heights. He did, in fact, become a Patreon member. I did have him in the raffle there. He didn't win, but maybe he'll win a weekly prize, and now he's in our Discord as well. So join the Patreon if you haven't. Wow, Spencer Green says, should I give it to Beast? Is Spencer Green going to give Beast the Aaron Glenn photo? Wow. Clancy says no. Bill M, no. I love it. That was quick. On that note, I love you all. Again, thanks for your daily support. We're back this afternoon with Richie from Jets Media. Thanks to Paul Kilgallen from Badlands for joining me. Come to their event Saturday. I'm hosting it for them. It'll be a lot of fun. Code Asman at checkout, and you will be ready to roll. Okay. On that note, J-E-T-S, Jets, and we take you back to the first ever Beastbreaker phone call. Beastbreaker 666 is up next. Hello, Beastbreaker.
We have 100,000 colleges in the United States. Why don't we just look at some of the different colleges? We got Boston College. We got Hofstra. We have we need to take $10 billion out, go get a brand new offensive line and a new kicker. Hello, Einstein. Bullshit. I don't know. Jesus Christ. Oops, I forgot. You forgot 14 years of losing. I don't want to see that anymore. Get back on your horse and fight. Bullshit. Am I not right, Jake?
Beastbreaker, I think you make some salient points. Call back.
Fuck. When do you want me to call back?
Every day.
You got yourself a deal.
Well, that was a call, folks. Welcome to the tournament, Beastbreaker.
Ladies and gentlemen, hope for the Beast.
Would you silence, or should I do one of these?
Hey, here's the deal. Just got no chance unless you click on that like button. And you got to make sure you subscribe to the Jake Asman Show. You don't, you can get the f*** out. Now let's go, Asmaniacs. We're built for this shit.